Mike Modano joining the show for the second time this week.
Yes.
And, Mike, I got to give you credit because the folks at home don't know this, but, you know, when we lose someone because the Wi-Fi's bad or there's technical difficulties, you know, we just lose them, and that's usually it.
Yeah.
Not Mike. Not only did we try a second time, he also immediately texts EJ and says, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
He's a wonderful guy. He's always been a great guy.
For being so great and so generous with your time.
Yes.
We appreciate you joining the show again.
My pleasure. My pleasure. There was something wrong in the mountains there in Utah, so I'm back down to sea level. Everything's better.
Yes, perfect. Let us know where are you coming from? Where are you calling from?
I'm in St. Paul today, actually in my office. You can see all the decor on the wall. So I'm gonna, got a little sticky note on the door saying I'm in town. So everybody leaves me alone.
All right, that's nice. That's I guess the same guy does your office that does Steve Mears' house, but that's another story. There's very little on the walls. Mike, let me ask you this: you're in Minnesota now. You're in this a role with the Minnesota Wild. How are you adjusting to that now? Because I guess you come and go with it, and you're advising with the group there. How are you enjoying it so far?
It's been great. I love it. I think Craig Leopold's one of the most passionate owners I've been around in a long time. You know, Bruce Boudreau, the coaching staff, has been a lot of fun to be around and visit with, and obviously Billy Guerin, our history there. So I was excited to be involved with the hiring of Billy and being around for that. So I'm excited for Bill. I was happy for him to get the job, and we talk daily, and we just kind of go over the ideas and the philosophy here, the game plan, what's in the future, and but being around in the game again, I think I just needed some time away from it. But I've certainly been back for a while. I've enjoyed being back in Minnesota, where it started for me, and you still see a lot of familiar faces and fans at the game that were big North Star fans.
Mo, I got a question for you, a little bit off the grid here. I want to know, just as an American-born player as well, you have certain players you look up to as a kid, and sometimes it's certainly about the way they play, but it's other things too. I always think about as a younger kid, Wayne Gretzky was the first one to use, you remember the aluminum Easton stick, right? The two-piece. Then there was Sergei Fedorov with the white skates. I remember Mike Modano with the hair, the CCM helmet, the jersey flying in the back. You had that look that young players, we all wanted to be like. I want my jersey coming out the back, flying in the wind. We just couldn't skate like you. Was there a player that you looked up to, maybe the way that, not only the way they played, but just some of those things like, wow, that guy looks smooth out there in his gear. Is there anybody?
Boy, I think, for the short period of time until I started playing against him was Steve Yzerman. But I think my main guy that I thought I would pay anything to see on a nightly basis and watch him growing up was Mario Lemieux. I just thought, he just made the game look easy. His strength, his size, the way he can move, the plays he made, his reach, everything else. I think he was the guy for me when I was growing up.
A couple of your former teammates going into the Hockey Hall of Fame next week. We obviously have to talk about that. I want to start with Guy Carbonneau, and I asked you about him in our previous conversation, but of course the Wi-Fi, so I'll re-ask you this. You said that Guy Carbonneau was probably the person that you met in your life that hated to lose more than anybody. What was he like after a loss? I mean, how passionate was Guy in the room, when there was no cameras, no one around? What was he like?
He let his feelings be known. He wasn't shy about it. He was very vocal. He was really intense. He prepared like no other player that I've ever been around. So he came into a situation in Dallas where we thought we had it figured out how we win, how we're going to win, how we get this thing to the next level. We were all kind of young and dumb at the time, but he stepped in and we're like, we're not even close to what it takes to win and be even competitive on a consistent basis. So he really took it to a new level. His commitment, his sacrifice, blocking shots, doing all the little things that help teams win championships. So I was pretty fortunate to kind of see it firsthand on a daily basis what it took. So I was pretty lucky to have him around.
And how about Sergei Zubov? I think really a deserving inductee as well, a guy that controlled the game, a big part of your Dallas Stars team. Give the viewers an idea of just how good this guy was.
I don't know. I could go on forever about him. He was just a freak of nature. I think he did everything so well. He was strong. His patience, his poise, his ability to make some plays in a phone booth, and his shot. But just his elusiveness, his ability to slow the game down, not being in a panic. He worked that blue line better than anybody else I'd know. I mean, we were all ready to back check and try to catch the guy when he loses it, but he never lost that puck at the blue line ever. So, he just took our power play to a whole new level. And we're a big defensive clutch and grab kind of team. We kind of exposed the rules to what they were back in the day, and we won doing that. But until he got there, we're like, wow, we actually can win games and play controlling the puck and holding on to it to a little longer than we normally did. So he kind of was he was a magician. I mean, I would have loved 12 years with him was not enough.
Well, both guys certainly more than deserving to go into the Hockey Hall of Fame. EJ will be there on Monday. We got to let you go, but you can join our show anytime.
Anytime,
we're always open.
Anytime.
We'd love to have you on. I'm going to put you on the spot really quick. Who do you think will have the better speech on Monday?
Oh, boy.
Tough,
I know
right?
Ruby doesn't like talking. He doesn't like talking. Especially doesn't like talking about himself. So I think but I've never heard a bad speech at the Hall of Fame, and I think Carbo will nail it. I mean, but like I said, there's no bad speeches at the Hall of Fame.
Well said. Mike, thanks for the time. We appreciate it, and enjoy the game tonight in Minnesota.
I will. Thank you, guys.